the growth of the startup ecosystem was accelerated by a couple of years due to the changing habits and preferences of customers, some of which are here to stay. The startups have not only fundamentally changed the way we live, but will also lead the path to sustainability in the coming years. Hello guys! Welcome all or welcome back to our channel. So we'll be discussing the rise of entrepreneurship and the golden age of startups in India. People who are new to our channel, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. This channel is based on fun, interesting and educating new on startup world. To know more updates regularly, please don't forget to turn on the notification of our channel. Without any delay, let's get into the video. The Indian startup landscape is thriving. We are currently home to the third largest startup ecosystem, right behind the US and China. Of the 61,400 registered startups, as per the Economic Survey 2021-22, 108 are unicorns with a collective valuation of $345 billion. In the Startup Report 2022 compiled by StrideOne, founder Ishpreet Singh Gandhi notes that the meteoric rise of startups showcases the ecosystem's ability to contribute approximately 4–5% to the GDP of India. Even the government of India recognized the need to nurture startups, with initiatives such as Startup India and the Honorable Prime Minister declaring the 16th of January as National Startup Day. On the flip side, there are the news reports of the oncoming funding winter and the impending layoffs. Startups boomed during the pandemic, when traditional brick-and-mortar businesses were facing a slump, but this only showcases the ingenuity of the Indian entrepreneur, and their ability to find opportunities even in the bleakest of situations. As we step into 2023, it is a good time to look back on the lessons learned and analyze where the sector could go in the future. A retrospective on the startup ecosystem. The scale-up of the Indian startup ecosystem is due to a confluence of various factors. First, by the massive number of Indians who are now online, making up a massive consumer base. On the supply side of things, we experienced a reverse brain drain, a brain gain, if you will, with the brightest minds returning to the country in search of opportunity. Finally, with a strong investor network and active participation from every major venture capitalist or private equity firm, the startup economy has grown by leaps and bounds. But far from the metropolitans across the country, there is a massive growth of startups based out of Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Referring to a report from DPIIT, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities account for nearly 50% of recognized startups in India. In fact, a study by BCG revealed that 50% of online shoppers are located in small cities. Increased internet penetration and more favorable infrastructure has opened up more opportunities in these markets. This is exciting, since this indicates that India's development is spreading out to these areas and is more secular than ever. Building a strong foundation with government support. The robust Indian startup ecosystem would not have been possible without the support from the Indian government. Thanks to programs and initiatives which provide financial and technical support and even subsidies, entrepreneurs can focus on fueling the growth. Schemes such as the Samrid Scheme and Multiplier Grant Scheme offer unique avenues for startups to find support. More recently, as part of India's recent G20 presidency, we will be shifting the focus on digital and startups. These proactive actions have further spurred the growth of entrepreneurial culture in the country and created a favorable environment for startups to flourish. The COVID roadblock. The global economy might have been marred by the pandemic, but certain segments definitely saw a greater adoption in the face of the new normal. The increase in remote work and distance education, amongst others, saw the video calling app, Zoom, experience explosive growth, going from 10 million users in 2019 to 300 million users in April 2020. What is impressive is that Zoom has sustained that user base and handled the growth, taking it all in their stride. Another sector which flourished under similar constraints were startups in the home delivery or digital services space, i.e., the likes of food delivery, e-commerce, etc. Fintech also emerged as another leader and will continue to do so, given that India's fintech adoption rate is 87% as compared to the global 64%. The growth of the startup ecosystem was accelerated by a couple of years due to the changing habits and preferences of customers, some of which are here to stay. The startups have not only fundamentally changed the way we live, but will also lead the path to sustainability in the coming years. A recent report by Redseer Strategy Consultants shows that the ecosystem will continue to persevere. India might see 80 potential IPOs in the next 5 years. The ecosystem is ready for a new development phase with a thorough emphasis on infrastructure development, innovation, and investment prospects. Following are some trends to watch out for. AI has grown out of the buzzword phase and into a technology with real-world applications, with expectations of the Indian market to grow 20% in the coming years. India produces 16% of the world's AI talent pool, ranking among the top 3 talent markets, and has recently taken over as Council Chair of Global Partnership on AI, GPAI. Very recently, OpenAI's ChatGPT prototype gained a lot of attention for generating impressively detailed answers across a variety of domains. Microsoft is also considering adding the chatbot technology to Word and email, which should speak to the effectiveness of the tool. With India pledging to target net zero emissions at COP26, startups innovating on green energy and e-mobility solutions are steadily emerging. ICE vehicles are in the process of being phased out, and Indian EV startups are building solutions to close the gap. From sustainable mobility, energy infrastructure, commercial mobility, and battery management systems, these startups aim to address and create a foundation for EVs in India. As the market continues to stay volatile in 2023, startups should reduce the focus on scaling up rapidly and look towards building a sustainable working model with a cash-conservative attitude instead. Startups with a sustainable growth model will be rewarded as the ecosystem finds its balance between growth and profitability. This shift in approach will also be better for the overall ecosystem in the long run. Growing by leaps and bounds. 2022 has been a volatile year for markets, not just within India, but also globally. While demand is expected to remain muted, analysts believe H2 2023 to be more favorable for Asia. In fact, amidst the scares of an impending recession, India is a relative bright spot in the world economy and is predicted to enjoy a GDP growth of 7% for financial year 2022-23. Startups of all sizes will overcome barriers and enjoy new highs, continuing the golden age of the Indian startup.